When I was at school, at the university, I tried to evangelize them, show them the Jesus film in Tamil and Hindi.
Yes.
They didn't become Christians, but they became my clients. They can explain me anything, whatever has happened, and the mental problems and crazy divorces and criminal stuff like that. And I don't get shocked and I don't condemn them.
Okay, because we're all sinners. And
We're all sinners, very much.
Hello, my name is Gordon Showell-Rogers, and I'm delighted that you've joined me for today's episode of Faith Without Frontiers. My guest today is Ville Hoikkala from Finland. He's an immigration, criminal and family lawyer who spent more than 20 years running his own practice. As we talk, Ville reflects on defending refugees, criminals and converts to Christianity, and explains why after years in the courtroom he no longer gets shocked and no longer condemns. Ville, we have known each other for a number of years. I don't know how long. We have had meals and drinks together in lots of different places.
Yes.
And the things that have brought us together initially, the first things that brought us together were a concern about freedom of religion or belief and persecution. And in the context of religious liberty, we had lots of conversations about the different things. And I began to get to know your interesting life story. And we're together right now at a meeting about forced displacement, people who are forcibly displaced around the world. And this meeting is in Europe. So it's good to see you again. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
For giving me time. Tell us, let's start by asking you, tell us about your day job, your profession.
I'm an attorney. I've had a 20 years solo law practice. High street solicitor, as you would say in England.
What do you call it in Finnish?
Lakimies. Attorney.
Okay.
Run my own law practice with focus on immigration, but I do also criminal cases, family law, and sometimes also entrepreneurs problems. So I have a wide range of people with all their issues coming to see me, and about half of them are of immigrant background.
Okay.
Many are from Africa, India, the subcontinent is strongly represented also.
Okay. So you are a Christian man, a committed Christian.
Yes.
Is it because you're a Christian that you are in immigration law, or help us to understand?
When I was at high school as a teenager, there was the first Iraqi refugees came to Finland, and the church where I went to had a program helping them to integrate, and I volunteered there. I made friends with many of the Iraqi Kurds who were at the time that was in the early 90s, so Saddam Hussein was still in the power. And they asked all their issues with the Finnish bureaucracy, starting their little enterprises, problems with changing Iraqi driver's license to Finnish one and stuff. And I helped them out, and I noticed that all those things with bureaucracy, I somehow understand them quite easily. And
okay.
I finished high school and thought what to do. And I think, hey, let's try and study law.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's because of your experience with
I found
as a teenager
that I'm good at.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, important for young people, and I enjoy doing that. Or in Finland, we don't have like school fees in university. We have an entrance exam, and for law school, it's quite demanding. Maybe 15% of the applicants are accepted.
Okay.
So first time I failed it. Then I did the compulsory military service as we have in Finland.
Yeah.
A second attempt, I was successful and got a place in the University of Lapland in North Finland.
Oh my goodness, that's cold.
That's cold, yeah. It was same time I come from the South Finland, so it was a good way to get out from it all and make new friends. But also the Lapland culture is different from South Finland. Also the weather, but also with the Arctic night. I remember first of all looking at the watch at, hey, it's 3 p.m. and fully dark, and how cool is it? It was an experience. And in Lapland, most of the students come from the southern Finland, where the population center is. So we were there weekends and had a good time, and we went to see our parents only on Christmas and Easter.
Okay.
So
you liked Lapland?
I liked it. It was a good time of my life. There was also a Christian student group.
Yes.
Like intervarsity kind of thing.
Yes.
And I was there.
IFES movement.
Yes. and I was with them. And that time I did some summer internship at a bar at a law firm which was dealing criminal cases. And
Okay.
at that time, and still today, the Finnish law on legal practice is much more flexible than most countries. So when I had my Masters of Law, I registered my own trade enterprise, and I did subcontracting first for older lawyers. That's quite typical because criminal law, it's very often solo practice, and the threshold to employ anyone, the burden is high. They don't like permanent contracts, but they like to have younger lawyers who have their own little enterprise, and in cases they don't have time for. But very quickly I got my own clientele, very much based on my church contacts. But there was a rumor going on that, hey, there is a new Christian lawyer in town.
Okay.
And also with my experience on immigration law, not everyone knows it. They actually don't teach it in the law school very much. So I learned it by practice and had some first successful cases. So
Okay.
yeah, I was thinking it as a temporary solution that I look for some other job, maybe business life or something. But now 20 years
20
have
years
gone,
later.
20 years gone, and it's still I haven't found anything better to do.
Okay. Tell us some of the best things about being an immigration lawyer.
Cool thing is I see so many different people, so many cultures, seeing also, which is somehow sad also. It's a good way to follow the international developments like the current phases in civil war of Somalia or situation in Afghanistan. So I can read the news and get paid for it. But it's interesting also the contact of different cultures.
Yes.
I've been invited to celebrations of almost any major religion.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, I was at the Mahashivratri of my Nepali clients, the Shiva celebration. It's this time of the year.
Okay.
And
That was the first time you'd done the Shiva celebration.
yeah, I've done other Hindu gods so far with Muruga and Krishna because I've been invited to their celebrations as well.
Okay.
But because I have very many Hindu clients, and I've also worked with the Hindu temples. When I was at school at the university, I tried to evangelize them, show them the Jesus film in Tamil and Hindi.
Yes.
They didn't become Christians, but they became my clients.
Okay. Okay. What would you say to anybody in church who says to you, why are you encouraging Hindus to move to Finland? You are helping them to develop their temples. Well, why are you doing
We
that?
need hardworking people.
Yeah.
With most of them, they are the jobs. Many are in the IT business, but also like manual jobs, bus drivers, maintenance of all kinds of vehicles. We need them, and also they know what Christianity is, and they have had their contacts. Many of them sometimes visit churches. For Hindus, it's completely all right. And we get the interreligious dialogue and also meet the economic needs of Finland.
Okay. And they develop a respect for a Christian lawyer who
they say that they helped, for instance, the Hindu temple to register themselves as a religious community.
Okay.
And also with a worker residence permit of their Brahmin and stuff like that. So they say they like to have a lawyer who believes in something.
Okay, interesting.
And I've noticed the same with some more religious Muslim clientele also.
Yeah.
They say that I don't convert them, they don't convert me, but we respect each other.
And have you had any criticism for that from Christians in Finland?
Nothing serious.
Nothing serious.
Yes.
So no death threat.
Of course, there are people who don't like me, and I have also had opponents.
Yes.
In court cases who come from the Christian community, and they don't like me very much.
Okay.
So,
but generally speaking, you are understood.
Yeah, all right. And also, of course, I have some Christian evangelical clients as well, and
yes,
they somehow have a reputation. They can explain me anything, whatever has happened, and the mental problems and crazy divorces and criminal stuff like that. And I don't get shocked, and I don't condemn them.
Okay, because we're all sinners, and
we're all sinners, very much.
Yeah. So you've been practicing law on your own, in your own practice, for 20 years.
Yes.
You've been dealing with immigration law, which is, I sense that's your passion. Is that right? Or?
Somehow, yeah. I got quite a lot of cases still on that. But that's not every lawyer does. It's something where I somehow understand better the latest developments and trends.
Yes. And I remember you telling me that sometimes you will take clients who can pay very little as a contribution to their welfare and also a way into their communities.
Yes, of course, being an entrepreneur of any kind, but especially law, it's challenging also. If the business is doing bad, you don't have clients, then I'm nervous all the time and trying to find clients. And then where the business is doing really well, then I'm so completely tired.
Yes.
But still, it's hard to learn to say no, because I still remember the times when my business was not doing as well as it is now.
Okay. So you say yes to a lot of people.
I say to yes of lot, and of course, immigrant communities, they spend a lot of time with each other. They even invite each other to their homes. They invite the new immigrants, their family members, help them find a job or something. Not just refugees, but anyone like Latino community or certain countries, Indian especially, where there is no refugee situations.
So a lot of your immigration clients are from word of mouth. You are
Word of mouth, 99%.
Yeah.
I sometimes has some advertisement and some newspaper, and maybe I got enough clients that they paid off what I paid to the newspaper, but
So,
word of mouth is the most important.
yeah. Okay. And you've had some funny situations, and
Yes,
we'll come to your criminal cases soon. I'd like to ask about those. But in immigration law, have you had some funny situations?
That's as long as 20 years practice. Maybe sometimes a hilarious thing is when the court is trying to determine if an asylum seeker is truly Christian.
Okay.
And there are sometimes, for instance, telling the Christian holidays.
Yes.
The client may explain about the birthday party where they have gone to,
Okay.
or stuff like that. And of course, in a country like Finland, in the criminal law area, people who commit crimes, they are not always the most intelligent of our community. And we have a good education system, which means that criminality is not a good career choice for everyone. Even no matter how difficult your family situation is, the young people, they get somewhere where they can study a profession.
Okay.
And it means that those who end up doing crimes, they are really sometimes very miserable people.
Okay.
And
Not the brightest or best educated.
no, one was bank robbery, and the guy went by car to a small rural bank office and forgot to put the handbrake of his car. He got with this 10 euro of money. The car was in the ditch.
Okay. And you were defending.
Yes. And then
What happened to him?
he got some, I think, was he sent to some mental institution or something?
Okay. Okay. So your defense, you didn't really have a good defense.
No, and very often in criminal case, it's not having a good defense. It's somehow trying to minimize the damage, the punishment as low as possible. Of course, sometimes there are cases where the client is really innocent, especially like sexual crimes. There's very much word against word. I mean, the couple has been split in an unfriendly manner, and the people are accusing each other from all kinds of things.
Yes.
And they are quite sad.
Yeah. So you see life in court, that's for sure.
Yes.
Across the world, Christians are paying a high price simply because they follow Jesus. Some are threatened, some are beaten, some are imprisoned or separated from their families. But even in the face of persecution, they remain faithful. In When Faith is Forbidden, Todd Nettleton shares 40 true stories of courageous believers he has met face to face. Christians who continue to follow Christ no matter the cost. Through this book, Todd wants to share their stories with you so that you can be challenged, encouraged, and reminded that God is at work in some of the world's darkest places. That's why the Voice of the Martyrs would like to send you a copy as a free gift. To request yours, visit vom.org/frontier. That's vom.org/frontier. Get your free copy of When Faith is Forbidden today, and be encouraged by the faith of Christians who are standing firm around the world.
Just coming back to the immigration law for a minute and the example you gave of defending or helping courts and bureaucracies to understand people who have become followers of Christ, become Christians.
Yes.
I've heard that before, that the immigration department will often ask questions about Christmas and Easter and technical questions about church history, which the young believer knows nothing about. All they know is they love Jesus and are following him. What do you do in those situations? How do you help the bureaucracy and the court to recognize that this person perhaps from a Muslim background has become a genuine follower of Jesus? What tactics do you use?
Of course, I prepare my client well. I send my questions well in advance. I have usually the standard pattern of questions, and it's no secret. First, tell how did you become a Christian?
Yep.
What is the core message of Christianity?
Okay.
Who is Jesus, and why is Jesus so important?
Yeah.
What is the Bible? And tell me some Bible quotes that are important for you.
Yes. Okay.
And then about prayer life. What happens to after death, according to Christian faith? And then what are the major differences between Christianity and Islam?
Yes. Okay.
And also about your life in church, and also if becoming a Christian has changed you somehow as a personality, your values, your opinions, your attitude, something. Do you notice any change in yourself?
Great. Those are great questions, Ville.
And also for some reason, I don't know why, the Finnish immigration is somehow interested in the Christian celebrations like Easter and Christmas and stuff.
Yes.
One funny thing came to my mind. Finland, I don't know about UK, but
Ascension
Day is a Thursday, and it's a public holiday.
Yes.
In May. I don't know if it's in UK.
It's not a public holiday.
Yeah, we have it, and it's somehow tradition.
Yes.
And we had an interpreter who didn't have the Finnish word for Ascension Day.
Okay.
And he interpreted the day when Jesus was flying.
Okay. Okay, this was Ascension.
The Ascension Day. The day when Jesus was flying.
Okay. Okay. So you get. But generally, with a convert to Christ, you ask them to tell their story. And something about Jesus and some basic theology.
Yes, and also a personal story, basic theology, and then back to their personal experience. Now, when you tell about grace and coming to heaven and forgiveness, how does it impact you?
Yes. Okay.
And that is a very cultural questions. Like in certain cultures, it's very hard for people to admit they have ever done anything wrong.
Okay.
It's like losing face.
Yes.
And then maybe Finnish version of Christianity is often somehow self-pity oriented, and you should be more sinner than the guy you are talking to. And it's somehow there is a big difference in the Christian culture.
Okay.
And also with like in certain charismatic churches, they don't pay very much attention to those Christian celebrations like Easter and stuff, and they play Hillsong year round. And
okay.
And so there are issues in that, but we have to somehow check out. And I often invite as a witness somebody from the church who has spent most time, not necessarily the lead pastor, but the person who has spent most time with the person, and ask those questions, which observations you have made and which conversation. But the thing is not so simple. If we talk, for instance, about Iran, which we often see as the main enemy of Christians, the missionary agencies estimate that there are around 400,000 Christians of Muslim background in Iran.
Okay.
This is how much is a kind of a generally accepted estimation. And among them, only 100 or 200 have any issues with the authorities in an average year. And most of them is very small. Maybe police are investigating and let free. Any serious longer prison sentences is 10 or 20 persons in a year. So the question is not that it's not only if you are Christian or not, but if your Christianity is such a character that you may have problems in Iran.
Okay.
And that's more challenging.
Okay.
And we have had some Christian attorneys, very constructive conversation with Open Doors, that the reporting on the persecution on Christians should be more detailed, and it's not helping these asylum situations if you just tell some one or two horrible stories, but I mean to find a general pattern. And we have respect to Open Doors, and we had a good conversation, and they somehow understood the problem, and we are working with them.
Okay. So the point you're making is that it's complex. The situation
it's very complex.
In country is complex, and that makes it complicated to argue that if this Iranian convert was sent back to Iran, they would be imprisoned or face
Yes.
persecution.
Because still among Muslim background Christians in Iran, the likelihood of getting arrested for more than 2 days is less than 1%. But it
Right.
happens. And then if we go to their western neighbor, Iraq,
Yes.
the Kurdish area is more tolerant. There are very few incidents of any persecution at all. In the Sunni and Shia area, the Arabic-speaking part, it's more with families. Iraq, the police is in a bad shape. The police have to get support from criminals and terrorists just to stay alive. But they are not in a position to persecute anyone. But the way of persecution is that the Iraqi families and tribes, they see the conversion as an insult and apostasy, and very often it's insult against their honor, and the family members may kill people who become Christians, and the police don't investigate that because they don't investigate very much anything at all.
So it's easier to argue for their residency.
Easier or not, but it's there. Basically, it is a form of persecution that somebody does a serious crime against you and the police refuse to investigate. Yes,
Right.
it qualifies as a persecution, but it's so hard to prove.
Okay.
With such a chaotic country like Iraq, it's so hard to prove.
So what percentage of Christian converts whom you have represented in court, what percentage have been sent back to their countries?
Sent back, get negative decision on that was maybe around 50-50.
Really?
But those who got negative decision, many of them have got residence permit based on something else.
Okay.
Marriage, work, studies.
Okay. So the percentage who are sent back is quite small.
50, yeah. Half.
Half are sent back to,
Going sent back, I would say 20. 50.
About 20.
20% would be sent back.
and their realities that back in their home countries are unpredictable is part.
Yeah, and from where most of them, I have not heard anything about it.
Really? So,
Yeah, but I've not been asked very much because it's a security threat.
Okay. So do you fear for their safety
Sometimes, yes.
from their families usually?
Families, yes.
Yeah.
Depends where you go.
Yeah. Okay.
But on the other hand, on those countries, you survive somehow, and there are ways of survival.
Right.
There are.
But this is a good sobering reminder, Ville, in an environment which is anti-immigration, often in our countries across Europe and in other parts of the world as well, that there are sometimes threats to life for asylum seekers who are sent back to their countries, among others, converts to Christ. Their lives can be in danger
Yes.
back at home. Yeah. So you focused on immigration law. That's been your big passion.
Yes.
But you've also been involved in, I know you told me some funny stories about your criminal law cases. You have some interesting criminal clients over the years. You have defended people. You told us just now about the bank robber
Yeah.
who ended up in a psychiatric institution. Do you have some other examples of criminal clients whom you have defended that are funny stories?
I don't know. It's actually funny. Of course, a wide range.
Yes.
Ordinary drug addicted petty criminals to I've had people who have connection with the Russian Secret Service, people who've been in connection with ISIS. I've seen also
Wow.
in 2000 to 2010, I was a case where my client took part in the genocide in Rwanda.
Oh my goodness.
And he was a headmaster of a local school in the southern border of Rwanda, Burundi, and he came to Finland as asylum seeker and he was arrested. He got a life sentence and I was his defense lawyer all the way. And
Okay.
I traveled to see the Rwandan refugees who had escaped the same village. They were in refugee camps all around Africa. I went to Zambia and Congo Brazzaville and
Wow.
places like that, and with a
Wow.
cheap video camera recording what they say. And that was for a young man, I was in my 30s by then, so it was
Yeah.
quite an experience.
That must have been very sobering,
yes.
troubling.
But on the other hand, I had a good time, and
Okay.
I somehow respect the warmth of African people and
Yeah.
how, in spite of all their challenges, they are keeping their spirits up.
Yeah. Ville, that's one of the things I like about you. You enjoy life, even even in the worst moments. You find something to be grateful for and to enjoy in life. You're married? You have family?
Yeah, I'm married. My wife is Sirku.
Yeah.
I have 2 children. I was a long time ago married to somebody else. From that time, I have a son. He's 20.
Yeah.
And from this marriage now, I have a daughter. Her name is Rosa, and she's 11.
Great. And you see your son also from your first marriage?
Yeah, I see Otto is his name, and we are best friends. And he's now grown up, and he's studying in the university business management. And
Okay, he's not following you into.
no, he saw one warning exam. It was sometimes funny. We were walking in Helsinki railway station, and the drug addicts there who were loitering, they came to, "Hey, that is our lawyer with his son."
So that put him off law.
To some extent, I'm not sure if you remember that anymore, but yeah, but it was, of course, in criminal law, it's sometimes unpredictable. Clients, they call in all kinds of days, times Sunday morning or something, and organizing family, the work-life balance is not always easy.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Thank you for your honesty about
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So let's go back to that Rwandan client. He was convicted of genocide or of...
Yes, it is genocide. He was as a headmaster of school, or according to the accusations, he was organizing weapons to those who actually perpetrated the genocide, and also organizing things and yeah, in a small rural town in the southern part of Rwanda.
And you met victims of the genocide when you traveled?
Witnesses, people who had been in the same village, same time, and who said that my client had nothing to do with those situations.
Okay. And how did you cope with the stories? How do you manage hearing really bad and sad stories?
Somehow it's strange in things like that. It's also like in normal domestic violence cases. Also, as a lawyer, when I work, I'm so focused in the detail and next question and making sure my work. The bad feelings come sometimes afterwards, when I have time to sleep well in the morning and I wake up, where have I been yesterday? And what did I hear? And how horrible things can be.
Yes. Okay, so it's with hindsight as you think back. Not in the moment when you're concentrating on getting the job done.
Yeah, because it's so much concentration all the time.
Yeah. So you've referred to domestic violence cases, you've referred to sexual assault claims.
Yeah, right.
So you are really seeing the worst of life.
Yes.
And what's your perspective on humanity in the light of those experiences, Ville?
We all live our lives from the point that we get and from the talents and upbringing and stuff like that. And
okay,
maybe on the one side, I see the pain, what it makes when people are evil to each other, but I also know something about the psyche, about the people who commit those horrible things. So I'm not the first person to say anything judgmental to anyone.
Okay. Yeah, I must confess, when I first became a follower of Christ, one of the things that struck me very strongly from reading scripture was how the Bible is a really accurate description of humanity.
Yes.
The very best of humanity we see because we're made in the image of God, and the very worst of humanity because we are all sinners who have rebelled against him and refused to go his way. So we all share that image of God and sinful heart.
Yes, I see that very close. And also sometimes people who are victims of crime, they are not angels or saints.
Okay.
They have their dark side also.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a good point. That's a really good point. You referred a couple of criminal clients. You referred to one who is a member of ISIS recently.
I'm not ready to talk very much on.
So that's fine. No, that's fine. You referred to another who was a member of a Russian security service. Can you talk about that or not?
We had he has close connections to Russia. I don't know what his official status is, but
you have your questions.
Yeah, it was spreading pro-Russian propaganda before the latest attack on Ukraine.
Okay, before the full-scale war started.
Yes, it was before COVID epidemic.
After
2019,
okay.
2020.
So after 2014, after the beginning.
Yes, that era, he was accused of harassing a certain journalist.
Okay. And you,
And I actually met him in such a way that I was involved in a religious freedom initiative that has some issues about Russia.
yeah,
And I went to talk with him because he was friendly with some Russian authorities.
yes,
Worried about the religious freedom over there, and he
Yeah.
also in Donetsk and Luhansk area.
okay,
And after our conversation, he said that, Ville, I like you. Would you like to be my lawyer? I mean, it was good. And
okay,
we know that in politics, we have very different opinions.
Yes.
At international politics, we agree to disagree.
yes,
We agree that if any journalist asks, how do I feel defending people with, or how do we get along?
Yeah.
I was ready to say just that my client, he appreciates good quality. That's it.
okay,
Because part of the job is that you have to defend people with whom you disagree.
yes,
Nobody agrees with domestic violence. Nobody says that it's cool. But if you are accused, anyone is accused of beating up your spouse or something, you still need legal counsel. And this is part of the job. Anyone, no matter what has happened, deserves a fair trial.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ville. This has been really interesting. I know I could keep you here for hours telling me funny stories, but is there anything else you would like to add?
I was thinking, because I was surprised a little bit. I was too concentrated on your questions. So now about the funny side, maybe the evangelical clientele, they are the most
Go on.
hilarious sometimes.
Okay.
Somebody called me. It was somebody I didn't know before. He said that he is worried that he has a small house somewhere in a small town in Finland, that if he dies, is it possible to make a will that if there is a rapture, his little house doesn't become into the control of the Antichrist?
Seriously?
He called, I was thinking this is some kind of prank phone call from a radio station or something, that are what?
Yeah.
But he was obviously serious, and he wanted to make a will that makes sure that Antichrist. I was saying that, yes, I understand you feel bad about it, and maybe the false prophet and the whore of Babylon will join the Antichrist in your little house. I understand you feel bad about it. But sorry, this is not something you can do in a testament.
Okay.
So that's maybe
accepted that.
He actually checked out his name. He has done really some theology about eschatological questions. I mean, I don't know personally, and God bless him with it. But those things also, people very strongly with Christian faiths, and then they have some ideas about the law which should come, and they can be sometimes like.
Okay.
But also sometimes bad. I've done this 21 years.
Yes.
I've had really serious criminals as clients, but I have been threatened 5 times. Then they all have been ex-husbands of my female clients, and out of the 5, 4 have a Christian background.
Really?
They called me that.
That's really just they threatened your life? Or?
No, they have harassed me, calling phone calls. At once, we had with my wife to apply for a restraining order, that the court gave order that he cannot call me anymore.
Okay.
And I was defending his former girlfriend whom he had beaten up. And somehow we knew each other, somehow distantly from the Christian circles. And somehow the evangelical conservative community, it can also harbor people with very disturbing attitudes.
Yes.
And the concept of patriarchy is alive, and it can be to very disturbing results.
That's again a worrying but real reminder of the bad things of life.
Yes, yes. And also, the most disturbing people, they don't go to church anymore. They just read all kind of Christian YouTube channel and extremists and Andrew Tate and stuff like that, and then they mixed with their faith, and that guy, it's dangerous.
Okay, so the Christian background people, but they're no longer often.
They go. I didn't check which church they belong to that time. But I knew their parents in some cases.
Okay, so sometimes they've drifted from their local faith community, perhaps, and lost touch with reality.
Yes, but not all. Some people, they are active in the churches and sing in the choir and stuff like that, and then when the lights are off, they beat up their wife.
Yeah,
and that's sad.
It's more than sad. It's
horrible. And how much can a church in teaching or sermons influence that? If the pastor says that you should not beat up your wife, 90% don't do that. And it is more pastoral questions, and I try to keep myself away from that.
Okay. So yeah, I thought you were going to tell us a funny story, Ville, but it was a good, sobering reminder.
Yes. And in lower case, the tragedy and comedy, they are very often intertwined.
Okay.
People who do horrible things, they are not very intelligent, and they can say completely. Sometimes really tragical cases where somebody has killed his wife or something, they comment it in such a manner that I have to be careful not to burst into laughter in the corner. It's they lose their sense of relativity and reality.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ville. Thank you for being willing to do this in English. I'm sorry that my Finnish is so limited.
All right. New day next time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Faith Without Frontiers. I hope you've been refreshed, stimulated, encouraged, and inspired by the conversation, perhaps even challenged. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please subscribe so that you don't miss the next story of faith in the series. And do consider sharing the podcast with friends, colleagues, or members of your church community. Until next time, may the Lord bless you and strengthen you as you serve Him wherever He has placed you.